I was not ready for a serious relationship, but in my mind, I thought I was. I'm a city girl who loves partying and clubbing and exploring. I didn't think I would get married. I was against marriage. I used to say I will never get married. I wanted to have fun. But here I was walking down the aisle going to my ex-husband. Yes, my marriage was an epic fail. I wanted to spice things up in my marriage, but I guess I was wrong. It has been a couple of months since we have separated, and I would be lying if I said I do not miss him because I do. So much. I regret even trying to make him understand why I wanted us to open our relationship, because everything took the wrong turn and not what I had expected. Our love story had blossomed over the years that we had been together. It was filled with laughter, shared dreams, and unwavering commitment. As time went on, however, I began to feel a sense of restlessness within me. I am only 25, and the world seems to be expanding before my eyes. I craved new experiences, yearned to explore different facets of life, and felt an overwhelming desire to spread my wings. I believed that opening our relationship would allow me to satisfy this yearning without sacrificing the love we shared. I didn't know who to talk to nor share my story with because I lost all my friends. That is why I would love some advice from you. No judgments, please. I, female 25, met my ex-husband Charlize Meyer, male 29, at the Four Seasons Hotel restaurant in Toronto, Canada. Well, he is the one who approached me as I was also sitting alone waiting for someone. He told me that he was there to meet up with a client, which postponed their meeting to the following week. So he stayed in the hotel until he met up with his client. He was a very sophisticated and enthusiastic human being. That's what I had figured out about him. He loved his job so much. I loved his appearance. His aura was clean and pure. I felt drawn to him for some reasons. Was I being sluttish? Charlize is a handsome and charming man. We had a chat and a couple of drinks. He was a very interesting guy, but way too serious and focused more on making money. He asked me out and we went on a couple of dates. I really thought I changed. I was not partying anymore or even going out with my friends, which is why I didn't think about telling him that I loved going out and exploring new places and partying. I actually thought it was not necessary because I had thought I had quitted that life when I got into a relationship with him. I just wanted to spend my time with him. I was in love. He was such a romantic person. Every chance he got, he would go all out to make me happy, but I was not fully happy. There was something amiss in my life, in our relationship, a bit of vibe was missing. Yes, our intimate moments were over the top. It was everything, but I wanted more. We once went to Hawaii. I was so excited, I couldn't believe that it was my first time leaving Canada. Ever since that day, we would fly out on each and every holiday. He proposed in Paris, the city of love. I couldn't resist. I agreed to marry him on the spot. I went home and told them good news. Months went by and we got married. So I moved to his luxury apartment in Manhattan straight after marriage. He made me quit my job and said he is going to take care of me. He needs me at home and warming up his sheet, a classic man. I guess that's when the problem started. I had too much time on my hands. I didn't know what to do. He usually had meetings since they had promoted him at work, name withheld for professional reasons. But we also traveled a lot and even bought a house in Miami for Christmas holidays. We don't like the cold weather in New York during the winter season. We have been together for 3 years. We had shared countless memories and dreams, but lately I had been feeling restless. At the age of 25, I felt like I was missing out on my youth. Bear in mind, I got married at the age of 22, so I couldn't get time to explore and live my youthful life. I wanted to explore new experiences and meet new people. I thought that opening our relationship could be an answer. But I guess I was wrong. My thoughts got me kicked out and divorced. After a few years of being in a monogamous relationship/marriage, I felt like something was missing. I loved her husband, Charlize, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I needed more. I wanted to explore my sexuality and try new things, but Charlize was against the idea of opening up our relationship. Yes, we did travel to some nice places, but he didn't want us to go to any clubs or any fun places. He only chose those serious places with serious people, and I didn't want that. I wanted us to live our lives to the fullest so that when it's time to have kids or grow old, we won't regret not living our lives to the fullest. I had tried asking him to at least let loose a little and allow himself to enjoy his youth also. But guess what he said? He told me that letting loose is for people who don't know what they want and have no goal and ambition. That statement alone left me tongue-tied. I somehow felt offended by it, but he would manage to shift from being serious to the funny, boring Charlize. So one day, I felt like I was missing out. Always staying in the house was not what I had signed up for, and the fact that I would look at my friends' posts on social media, having the best time of their lives while I was glued in the house like a built-in furnisher. I missed going out. I was still young, for Christ's sake, to become a house furnisher. Yes, my husband was giving me money to spoil myself and go out to do shopping. But I didn't want that. I wanted to go out with my hubby, explore different places, and attend different parties and events or even clubs. Get intoxicated together, make mistakes together. But I guess that was only a fantasy if you are married or in a relationship with Charlize Mayer. So that day, I decided to just go out and have fun. Charlize was not around for the weekend. He had gone to one of his friend's bachelor parties. I decided not to go to the friend's bridal shower because the girl who was getting married to Charlize's friends was not my friend, and we didn't know each other that well. So I told Charlize that I would remain behind and meet him at the wedding the following day. Since I was married to him, I should always be there with him at ceremonies like this, even though I didn't feel like going, but I had to honor my husband and be his +1. When I got to the nearest club, it was epic. The music was busting on top of the roof. People were dancing, and I felt at home when I entered the club's door. It felt like it was where my heart belonged. My happiness got to be in play. I bought my own drinks while enjoying the music. Some handsome, slim-fit guy with a nice-cut mustache approached me and offered to buy me a drink, of which I declined for obvious reasons. The guy didn't listen to me. Instead, he bought more booze, and the conversation flowed. It was really fun hanging with him. We laughed, danced, and even made jokes about each other's moves. It was what my soul needed. I felt at peace with so much happiness. Since that day, I continued going out, partying and clubbing with Trevor, the guy I met at the club, male, 26. What I liked more about Trevor was that he was not afraid to live for himself. He was also working as an architect, but he allowed himself to let loose a little. He was not afraid to be wild and be himself without any fear of being judged. Trevor and I clicked. We had a lot in common. During the times of going out, Trevor would sometimes ask me to be his date at parties. As much as that was wrong in so many ways, but I felt a sense of belonging, I felt at home. He allowed me to be wild and carefree while he also does the same. It was like we were a couple that had an open relationship, and it felt great. I wanted that with Charlize, but he didn't pay attention to my needs and desires. A month passed. Trevor and I went to this music concert, and there was DJ Black Coffee, South Africa's best deep house DJ. It was truly a blast, and I was having so much. I loved the DJ very much, and it made me happy to get a chance to be at one of his events that took place in Madison Square Gardens. My husband, or must I say my ex-husband, never really cared about what I liked and what I didn't. All he cared about was showering me with those materialistic things that I didn't even like, but I would show happiness because I love him, After DJ Black Coffee's event, we went to another nightclub not far from my house. Or, must I say, Charlize's house. We got there and the music was booming, people minding their own business, having fun in every way. I was also having so much fun with Trevor. But what I didn't appreciate in him was that he kept confessing his feelings for me. I knew that I was married and committed to Charlize, which was why I didn't consider Trevor's feelings towards me. I knew where my heart belonged, so when I told him to remember that I was someone's wife. He told me that he had noticed, but he couldn't live with the fact that he had feelings for me. Unexpectedly, I regretted myself and felt guilty after I kissed Trevor. Yes, I was intoxicated a lot to a point that I found myself craving Trevor's sexy and pinkish lips. I couldn't contain myself any longer. I know I shouldn't have done that since I am or was a married woman. And what I did was breaking the vows that I had made in front of the Lord, both our families and friends. I knew that if Charlize was to find out about what I had done, things would take a huge turn for me, and my marriage would either be in jeopardy or get destroyed completely. Frustrated and unhappy with what I had done, I decided to talk to Charlize about my desires. That day I had cooked a very nice dinner, his favorites only so we could talk about my issue. I explained how I felt trapped and that I needed some freedom to explore my sexuality, since he is always focused on work and showering me with materialistic things but never asked how I was, nor check if I am happy. I even emphasized that this wasn't about wanting to replace him, but rather about personal growth. I I tried to reason with him, but he refused to budge. He believed that opening our relationship would lead to jealousy and heartbreak. And so, I made the difficult decision to put myself first. I knew that Charlize loved me, and I loved him also. But love alone is not enough if you are not happy, right? I hoped he would understand, since he sees that I am always in the house doing nothing. It had become like I was a part of the house furniture. Charlize, however, didn't take it well. He felt hurt and betrayed by my request. But Charlize was adamant that he didn't want to share me with anyone else. I explained my feelings, emphasizing that I still loved him deeply, but needed more space to grow as an individual. Charlize, however, was taken aback by my proposal. I knew that he had never considered the possibility of an open relationship. To him, our relationship was built on trust and exclusivity. So my request caught him off guard and infuriated him to a point that he even asked if I was cheating on him, and if I had got someone else from the clubs that I was going to and the trips that I had taken with some guy and kissing him. His question caught me off guard. How did he find out about all that? I was shocked and somehow scared about what he would do next, but I decided to deny all his allegations and told him to stop changing the topic. Oh, how I wish I was cheating on him, but my love for him didn't allow me to. Which is why I still regret kissing Trevor, but is kissing considered cheating? Okay, maybe I did cheat, but it was only a kiss that didn't even last 5 seconds. But I needed to feel myself, to feel alive and happy for once, which is something he couldn't provide for me. I am still young to be living the life of a retired soldier. The thought of sharing me with someone else was unbearable to him. I kind of think he was somehow obsessed with me being the housewife. He refused outright, unable to comprehend my perspective. Charlize expressed his concerns, fearing that opening our relationship would lead to jealousy, mistrust, and ultimately the demise of our love. He believed that our bond was sacred and should remain exclusive. We found ourselves at an impasse, each holding on to their own beliefs and unable to find a compromise. He got angry at the fact that I wanted to open our relationship. He believed agreeing to open our relationship would mean he is allowing me to go outside our marriage and cheat. Which was not what I wanted, but he didn't want to listen. Typical men's ego. The following day, Charlize went to work early and came back at night. He asked about the guy that I had been seen spending time with while he was not present. I denied everything that he was saying, and it led to a massive argument. So after a particularly heated argument, Charlize made a decision that would change our lives forever. I couldn't believe it, I thought he loved me. He packed my belongings and asked me to leave our apartment. Just because I wanted an open marriage relationship, instead of understanding things in my own perspectives, he made a harsh and hurtful decision. I was so devastated. I had never imagined that my desire for exploration would lead to such a painful outcome. Our disagreement quickly escalated into a heated argument. Emotions ran high, and hurtful words were exchanged. Charlize made a decision that shocked both of us. I didn't think he would actually come up with that decision just because I wanted our marriage to be open. He asked me to leave our shared apartment and told me that he was unable to continue our relationship under these circumstances. He told me right in my face that I should expect a call from our lawyer anytime soon, but he wanted me gone. The breakup was messy and painful. Charlize and I were hurt. Well, more like I was the one hurting the most. But deep down, we knew that we couldn't stay together if we couldn't agree on such an important issue. With tears streaming down my face, I walked out of the apartment, her heart shattered into a million pieces. I wandered aimlessly through the city streets, feeling lost and alone. I didn't want to go back to New York City. If I were to go back to NYC, what would my family say, and how would I have explained why my husband kicked me out? I wouldn't say, he kicked me out because I wanted to open our relationship and he refused, so he kicked me out and took away everything. That would be a joke of all jokes. As I sat on a park bench, I had come to realize that I had lost more than just my relationship. I had lost a part of myself. I ended up spending the night at the nearest hotel. I felt stifled and misunderstood, I was hurt by Charlize's decision. I was not expecting him to make such a drastic decision. I know I had done him wrong in so many ways, but the fact that he decided to divorce me just because I wanted us to open our relationship. It's not like I wanted him to quit his job and focus on me and my desires. I wanted us to have freedom of doing things in our own ways, the way that would make both of us happy. I was so devastated and filled with regret, I found myself alone, questioning my choices. The days that I had spent in a hotel were hard. I was grieving for my marriage. I was depressed and felt like I had lost my heart. I didn't expect things to turn out this way, and the weight of my decision crushed me so bad. I later realized that my desire for exploration had come at a great cost. I reflected on the choices I had made and the consequences they had brought. I realized that I had underestimated the depth of Charlize's love and commitment. After spending a couple of days at the hotel, I went back home. Days turned into weeks, and I was left to pick up the pieces of my shattered heart. As much as I hadn't healed from the breakup, but I had to start picking myself up. Those days that I had spent at the hotel were enough for me to grieve my marriage. So when I went back to NYC, I decided to embark on a journey of self-discovery, traveling to different countries, meeting new people, and pushing the boundaries of her own comfort zone. Through my experiences, I learned that true freedom comes from within, and that love can take many forms. A year later, I decided to join a support group for people in open relationships and started dating casually. I found that being able to explore my sexuality without restrictions was liberating and empowering. I decided to live my life for me. Yes, I had casual hookups or relationships, but none of them had my heart like Charlize. They were what I call time passers, and they really helped me to explore my desires. I continued partying, going to clubs, and meeting new people. Even though I missed Charlize, well, I still miss him, but I had to put myself first and put my needs and happiness on my first priority list. One day, I received a message from Charlize, which was quite a surprise to me because I never thought I would get any sort of communication with Charlize after how things ended between us. In his message, he was apologizing for being so stubborn and inflexible, and asked if we could meet for coffee to talk things over. For some reasons, I agreed. I mean, things didn't end well, and we went our separate ways in a very harsh and hurtful way. So we met at a local cafe. We talked for hours about our relationship, our regrets, and our future. We realized that we both still cared for each other, but knew that we couldn't go back to the way things were before. I mean, Charlize was a workaholic and I was a lover of exploration, meaning our marriage was doomed from the very beginning. I know I should have let him know about my likes and desires before we even started dating, but I thought I had changed and I was ready for the commitment. Charlize and I were two different people, which was why it was hard for him to agree to open our relationship. He is always about work, loyalty, spoiling, and loving. It's like his life is in the eggshell and it's not moving because it keeps going in circles. And I didn't want to be in the eggshell with him. I wanted to be like a bird, spread my wings and explore new things. I wanted to do that with him, but he took all that the wrong way. With time, I healed and learned from my mistakes. I understood that sometimes the desire for personal growth can clash with the commitment we have to our loved ones. I vowed to communicate better in the future, to cherish the relationships that truly mattered, and to find happiness within myself. As time passed, I eventually found happiness and fulfillment in my own paths. I learned valuable lessons about love, growth, and the importance of communication in a relationship. And though my love story had ended, the memories that I had shared with Charlize would forever hold a special place in my hearts. My healing journey has taught me the importance of individual growth and finding a balance between personal desires and the commitment to a partner. The support group really helped me discover things that I didn't even know about myself either. I understood that relationships could evolve and change, and that sometimes difficult decisions had to be made for the sake of personal happiness and fulfillment. Just like how my marriage ended, I know it was not an easy decision for Charlize to make, but at the end of the day, he had to make one. Sometimes, despite the love shared, two individuals may find themselves unable to align their desires and needs, leading to the difficult decision of parting ways. I was happy at the fact that I was able to voice out my feelings and desires to Charlize, even though things didn't go the way I had wanted to go. But I guess that is how life is. I miss Charlize so much, but sometimes putting yourself and your happiness first needs some compromises. I don't know what would have happened if I continued to stay in the closet and be unhappy in my marriage. Imagine what would have happened to me or to our relationship if I were to continue living my happy life of going out and exploring while Charlize was in the dark. Our marriage would have become a shameful marriage, full of secrets and deceit. I don't know if I made the right decision of not fighting for Charlize, because my heart still yearns for him. I still love him a lot, but on the other hand, I want to put myself and my happiness first. Please help me with the issue that I am currently facing. What should I do in order to fully move on and be myself without thinking about Charlize and our love?